Okay, so today we're going to be working on constructing those scatter plots and making a trend line, which is sometimes called the line of best fit. So we kind of did that yesterday with those lines going through. So key things, make sure you are labeling your X and Y axes, including the X and the actual Y. Add a title and figure out your increments, because sometimes that's the hardest thing, and I think you might need to do that on your EOC this year. So here is an example. So we've got Jared's baseball team stood. Okay, so we can just title this Jared's baseball team. Jared's baseball team. Obviously, you would want to do that better than me when you're actually testing. Stood at various distances from the basketball goal and counted the number of baskets they were able to make in 30 seconds. The distance each person stood from the goal and the number of baskets made is shown in the table. So we're going to graph that. Now, I know these already have our increments. So this one's actually going up by 2, 4, 6. Always pay attention. And this is going up by ones. 1, 2, 3. Now, let's see how they got that. So remember, this is always our X data, and this is always our Y data. So 14, I kind of look at my range. What is my lowest value, and what's the highest value? It looks like the highest value is 28. So they needed 28 to fit here, and you didn't have 28 spots, and that's why they went up by 2s. Here, the highest was Chris at 14. So 14 baskets made. So this really only needed to go up to 14, and that's why they were able to go up by ones. So let's go ahead and just mark these. So 14, and if you need to put 8, 10, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Sometimes that helps. Okay, so here's 14, and here is 4. Put a dot. 25 is in the middle of 24 and 26, and 6. And that's okay. 27 and 7. I'm going to do mine, you do yours. And then we can check out. Okay. You can stop this if you need to finish yours. A couple things I can see. I've got some clusters, right? Here and here. So clusters, clusters. Here's my little outlier. Okay. Remember, they did not, what was my lowest value here? At a certain feet. So really, they didn't even go here, right? And the distance. Okay, so what type of association do you see? List any observations. So it seems like as the number of baskets made decreased, so that would be a negative association because it decreased, the further away from the goal. What else do you observe? We observe the clusters, and we observed an outlier. Okay. So we're going to use the scatter plot to label each of these statements as true or false. So as the distance from the goal increases, the number of baskets made decreases. That's a true statement. As the distance from the goal decreases this way, the basket made increases. Well, that's true too, isn't it? It's a backwards way of thinking it. As the distance from the goal decreases, the baskets made decreases. Not true. Okay. So making sure you can read those. Next page. This is called that trend line that I used, that we were making our lines through to show you whether there's a sort of a trend. So when a scatter plot demonstrates a line relationship, a straight line can be drawn to show that pattern. It is called either a trend line or line of best fit. Again, it is a straight line that should lie as close as many possible points of the data. So it should go through the center. You should have almost like the best, and it should go all the way across, including the y, to make a y-intercept. So when we write equations, you guys need to be able to write equations. These are the rules. So I'm going to asterisk this because you guys are going to struggle with this part. You're going to choose any 2 points on that trend line and set up a ratio of your rise and run to find the slope of that line. Look at the y-intercept to find, look at the y-axis to find that y-intercept. We should be professionals. That should be secondhand, like 1 + 1. Use these to write an equation in slope-intercept form. That is y equals mx plus b. Slope is m. Again, I shouldn't have to write this. You should know this secondhand. All right. So let's see if this is a good line. So if the line's going this way and my dad is going this way, that is not good. Not good. It should be through the center. Okay. Ooh, this one's great. And it has a negative association, so it's going downwards. And it's pretty strong. All those points are really close to that line. This one is poor. It needs to be more centered. This one is poor as well. It's too low. This one was too high. So it needs to go further up. And using a ruler would be helpful. Now, this part is kind of important. So if your dots are closer to the line, we said it has a strong correlation. And they number those. So if it's positive, it's a strong one, or if it's negative, it's a negative one. If your lines are further from the line, that means it has a weak correlation. And that means it's like 0.5 or a negative 0.5. Because when there's no correlation, it is 0. So this would be a strong 1. This is a weak. So we're going negative, so it's going to be a negative maybe 0.5. This one is chickenpox, so it has none. No, none, nada. Okay. A couple more. So this is where it gets a little more complicated. So we're going to, I think it says at the very beginning is you've got your line. These are already given to you. So you're going to pick 2 points on the line and find slope. Which is your rise over run, because it's so much fun. Okay, so here I'm going to look and I see this point. Do I see another one right here? It is not a point, but is a point where I can put a point because it crosses exactly at this intersection. Please pay attention to that. So I'm going to use this point and I'm going to add a point. So even if you add a point. So from here to here, remember it's rise and I got to pay attention to my increments. So I'm rising 1 and then I'm going over, I need to look at these increments and I'm going over 1, 2, 3 and that's -3. Okay. Now I need, so that's 1. Step 2, find y-intercept. That's easy. It's right here. This one's 8. So this is my m, my slope. My b equals 8. Now I put it in the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So y equals -1/3 x plus 8. And that's my equation. Let's try another one. All right, so I'm going along this line to see if I have any points on the line. I don't. But I do see where this crosses at 2, what is it, 125? I'm going to put a dot here. So that's 2, 125. I'm going to follow this line. Ooh, it hits again here at 4, 150. So 2 ways you can do this. You can say rise, and remember this is 125, right? So from 125 to 150 was an increase of 25. And then going this way, so I went up, and now I'm going over 2. So that's 1, 2. So this literally is 2. What's my y-intercept? So this is my slope, and it can be a fraction as long as it's simplified, and that's perfect. And you can go 25 ABC2, and it's going to give you 25 ABC2. My y-intercept, or my b, is 100. I'm going to substitute those into here to make y equals 25 over 2x plus 100. That wasn't so bad. Let's try this next one. So follow my line. Are there any dots on it? No. So here's an exact intersection. Here's one here, or you can use the y-intercept because that was an exact point. What point is that? This is 10, 15, 20. Okay, so this is 45. So my y-intercept, might as well get that one. So from here up here, I'm going up. I'm going to write this one in between so I know what I'm doing. I'm going up 5, 10, because these are 5s, right? So I'm going up 10 and then over 1. That's my slope. Y is equal to 10 over 1, or just 10, plus that 45. I went to my left, so that really should be a -10. Sorry, I went up and to my left, 1. Okay. This next one, you can see it's going to be a negative slope. And it says he's already choosing points. 180. So Riley's choosing this one, 180. Is that a good point? No. And 230? No. Bad choices. It's not on the line. Must be on the line. Okay, let's try this one. Mrs. Hamilton surveyed some of her students by asking how many minutes they spent studying for their math test and the score they made on the math test. The results are shown below. What is the slope of the trend line? So again, I am going to find intersections. Again, I can use this and I can use this. Ooh, there's a dot here. It doesn't matter which ones I use, but I already chose mine, so we're going to go with that. So that means I am rise, overrun, remember, because it's so much fun. I am rising 10, so plus 10, and I'm moving to my right, and these are going up by 5s too, so 5, 10, 15. Positive 15. I'm going to simplify that because 10, 15 can be simplified. 5 goes into each, so that becomes 2/3. That's my slope. What does the slope mean in context of the situation? Well, what on earth does that mean? So that just means that for every minute studying, 2/3 you increase 2 points per 3 minutes. So increase, of 2 scores for every 3 minutes. So this is kind of your rate of change. Your rate of change. What is the y-intercept? Well, we knew that was 60. So what does that mean? It was the lowest score. And so if you studied 0 hours, minutes studied, 0 minutes, equals 60% test score. So now we can write that equation. Y equals my slope of 2/3 x plus 60. And that's that. Is there more, or is this for tomorrow? I thought that was kind of a lot. Nope, I think that's it. Very good.